Welcome to the CPTM Smart Partners Hub. Today is not Friday, but it is Tuesday, 22nd of January, and in London is almost ready for snowing. But the reason why we are sending you a message today is a message which is to be considered as a forward to the new phase of CPTM and the new Smart Partners Hub to come after the 31st of January, that is next week Thursday, when it will be the last day that the Smart Partners Hub library will be at this address, 63 Catherine Place, where we were in the last 15 years or so, and where so many legendary think tanks visit and things happened in the library. So, yes, today is 22nd of January, and I was just wondering that what is the best thing that, as far as I'm concerned personally, as Joint Dialogue convener, as Chief Executive of CPTM, Commonwealth Parish for Technology Management, as a smart partner, as a networker, what would I want to say about this space? Obviously, the space is a smart partner space, is a mini smart partnership space. And each and every item, book, paper that I went through in the last 3 weeks is a reminder of the very many smart partners that have either dealt with their own activities in their own countries, and the evidence of what they did or they didn't do, or what they could do, or what they wished to do, is in this paper or in digital form, on videos, in the pictures, or in the books, many books written by smart partners. So, is it that the books themselves in the library, which are about 2,000 or so, we estimated, we never counted them, is it that the extraordinary books, which when we wanted to try to interest some people to take them away, because we weren't very sure how they could be preserved temporarily, when we asked some people to come and estimate what they are and explain why they are here, so well selected one by one, so representative, so connected to one idea and another, not just politics, not just technology, not just edge science, not just sociology, not just art, but everything connected to everything else. How is it that you accumulated or you bought or you put together this library of ideas? And I said, well, I don't know, but if you look to that basket, or if you look to that sculpture, or if you look to the buckyball, the smart globe, or if you look to the carpet, Swazilando, Lesotho carpet, if you look to the Swazi glass, and so on and so on, if you were to look to all these things, the whole thing will tell you a story. In fact, will tell you the story so far. And I thought, for that reason, that my 2 reflections today, as a last message from Catherine Place, were obviously related to the living manifesto of all of us, smart partners, the story so far, and a forward to the next phase after 1st of February, end of January. In fact, the limitless opportunities through smart partnership, they became so relevant, so contextual to each and every country that it is most paradoxal to actually try to think that, or even to kind of mention that CPTM, the structure within which smart partnership movement is anchored, might at any point of time close. The smart partnership movement is a movement, it's not an organization, but it requires a structure. And the CPTM that was created since 1995, blessed by the various political, civil service and which were maintained infrastructures that existed over the years within the Commonwealth, by Commonwealth heads of government, etc., by Company House, by auditors, by the ongoing CPTM boards made of representatives of all the smart partners. The CPTM is a CPTM at large in the smart partnership movement. Is a smart partnership CPTM, is an SPTM, however we want to call it. But CPTM is not something that can be simply, as any other legal structure, wiped off. The Smart Partners Hub, the library, which is the expression of CPTM at a core, at the reference to which all the members, all the smart partners are making, that Smart Partners Hub, in its physical location, that should emerge into a new location. But it should multiply, as we said, as it is already there in Harare through NECF, National Economic Consultative Forum. In Swaziland, the Prime Minister's office, His Majesty set up a hub very earlier on. In Uganda, where the chair of our movement, President Museveni, together with General Eli Tumuine, Professor Sam Tulia-Muhika, but particularly the Smart 29ers, are a hub. In Lesotho, in the mountains, in Kingdom of Lesotho, the Smart Partners Hub. So one should multiply, replicate these hubs. We are in the age of blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology. And as we were talking with Isam sometime a few months ago, it's obviously the time when we do need a distributed Smart Partners Hub library, which is quite different from a decentralized, from a localized. So, how do we do that? We do it because we have a progressive, updated, built-in manifesto of limitless opportunities, which is based on the story so far, but it has also built in the future steps. And the future steps had already started to be built on since about 3-4 years ago through the Smart Partnership Inclusive Initiatives. Is the most incredible, relevant and far-sighted initiative of initiatives, the leveraging value of data to support the national visioning and the new development in the Smart Partners countries, Smart Partners countries. So we have the manifesto, you have the manifesto, you have in each country the governance of central bank, the national statistics, the National Bureau of Standards, individuals, leading individuals, in addition to leaders, prime ministers, ministers, civil servants, 29ers. So there is a framework for the leveraging value of data for 2019 to 2020, a very specific framework of action with specific costing that needs to take place, specific timing. And that needs to happen. The only thing that probably one would say, how is it to happen without 63 cut in place? The question would be, without 60. I would say, you see, 63 cut in place was just a physical location where we put our tent for about 15 years. As you know, we moved the Smart Partners tent from one country to another. We moved our country tasks from one country to another and then linked them all together. And we are where we are because of that. In fact, we were here for 15 years or so, in 63 cut in place, but we were in another place for another 10 years before, in Queen Anne's Gate. All the Smart Partners Hub library. About a week ago, there was an arrangement that they will be housed temporarily in a Smart Partnership space. And as soon as the new phase, the chair of Smart Partnership Movement, the key Smart Partners JDC member CPTM board, would be able to say, let's move to the next phase, then we will do that. And they will be replicated and picked up in the new place. But things need to change. Things are in a spiral. So it may be that it cannot be replicated, and it shouldn't be in the same way as it was here for 16 years, 15 years or so. What I mean is not to throw away the collection of books or ideas that have been brought and built up on, but to create a new space and continue to build on the intellectual equity which was built up to now and the books that exist. So the one thing that everybody always asked me in so many years is, could you please tell me what is Smart Partnership? Could you please tell me what is CPTM? Could you please be clear? And what I did say was that, you know, the story of the CPTM and Smart Partners is a story of emergence. There is a continuous emergence and perpetual novelty. There is a story of ambiguity and uncertainty, but nonetheless of limitless opportunities. As I wrote in my own reflections in the Limitless alongside Smart Partners, we have always objected to stagnation, to conformity, and to anything that one tried to follow simply as a robot, as a recipe. And those could be very limiting, as different from opening Limitless. But above all, I would say that looking through the library to try to make sure that they are being moved in the new place to be housed temporarily, I found two references to two important concepts for me that continue and will continue to give me an understanding and a hope for the CPTM and Smart Partnership model built up to now. These are concepts of paradox and concepts of vagueness. There is a book which I won't give it to anybody, I won't put it anywhere, I'll take it home and I'll bring it back in the new place. It's called Not Exactly. So whoever, in praise of vagueness. Now, the reason why I picked up this book as my last point that I want to say today is because all the various statements that are being made, as soon as they are being made, there is a new context. So if anything is being asked to be clear, they will be clear at a point of time, in a point of context. But most of the time, we are surrounded by false clarity. And we are actually building on vagueness, on vague concepts. So to quote from this particular book, the role of vagueness in communication, in dialogue, is critical. Vague expressions admit borderline cases. Expressions that are not vague will be called crisp. And now, people are asking if there are, under any circumstances, situations when vagueness is preferable over crispness. Now, this is something that I leave you to reflect on, but just to say that artificial intelligence nowadays, which is penetrating everywhere, every sector, every individual, every country, be it in the desert or being in the North Pole. Artificial intelligence, which is part of computing science and particularly based on the emerging digital space and leveraging value of data. The artificial intelligence is built on and mimics human abilities for reasoning and speaking. Now, those human abilities are infested with vagueness. Artificial intelligence involves construction of models of a human ability. Now, if one is thinking of the main challenge for artificial intelligence is to build programs that communicate effectively with people. So for that to happen, understanding of communication that is based on vagueness has to be understood and accepted by those who are looking for clarity. So what I'm trying to say, actually, among other things, I recommend this book. You can find it to me on the mail, on the email, on the text, on the WhatsApp, or face-to-face for a cup of coffee in London. What I'm trying to say is that the idea that CPTM is closing is a false clarity. The idea that smart partnership movement does not move, and is not, the idea that is not to be looked at as a living manifesto, ongoing, the story so far, is again false clarity. The idea that smart partners will not be able to re-establish a smart partners distributed ledger type of hubs is false. So nothing can be terribly clear except this second. And this second, what is clear is that smart partnership movement will move on is the most legendary development of the 21st century. In social terms, in technology terms, political terms. So it will have a long future. So, see you next time, and we'll see when is next time. So don't accuse me that's vague. That is absolutely clear. All the best.